The India-Bangladesh border stretches across dense, foggy wetlands that offer little physical resistance to anyone attempting a crossing. This open terrain has historically been exploited by organized smuggling rings and utilized for consistent volumes of illegal infiltration. Securing this boundary is a federal responsibility, but the Border Security Force cannot act without land. For years, the process was stalled because the state government controlled the necessary territory and refused to hand it over. Under the Trinamool Congress administration, the acquisition of borderland hit a persistent bottleneck. State authorities delayed the legal transfers required for national security infrastructure. These delays froze critical projects on the ground. Without clear land titles, the BSF could not establish new forward outposts or install the miles of barbed wire fencing needed to close the perimeter. Local border communities lived in the middle of these gaps. Without a physical barrier, villagers were left unprotected from cross-border criminal networks that operated with near impunity in the unsecured zones. The result was an intentionally porous border, where local safety and national security were secondary to a long-standing political stalemate. That stalemate ended when the new BJP government took office in West Bengal and immediately reclassified border security as a top administrative priority. Chief Minister Suvendu Adhikari entered office with a specific mandate: clear the land backlog and break the decade-long deadlock with the BSF. Adhikari set an aggressive 45-day deadline for his administration to bypass standard bureaucratic hurdles and finalize the transfer of hundreds of acres. In one of its first major cabinet decisions, the new government legally transferred 142.79 acres of land directly to the Border Security Force. This transfer provided the legal and physical space for the military to begin construction on infrastructure that had been stalled for years. The 142 acres transferred targeted high-priority gaps identified by the BSF. Crews immediately began breaking ground on new outposts to establish a military presence in these blind spots. Fencing is now being installed at high speed, connecting them to create a continuous, sealed barrier. This allows for active patrolling and constant monitoring in regions that were previously inaccessible to federal forces. Infrastructure projects neglected for 10 years under the previous administration are now moving from the planning stage to physical completion in weeks. This new fencing physically obstructs established smuggling routes and infiltration pathways that thrived in the previously unmonitored gaps. For border residents, this has a direct impact on daily life. More secure farmland, protected property, and the return of law and order to these rural districts. Security is one piece of a broader administrative focus directed at these marginalized border districts. The government has also unblocked central welfare programs, such as the Ayushman Bharat healthcare scheme, which is now being actively rolled out to families in these border zones. The administration aims to combine this physical security with the rollout of central healthcare under the banner of its Sonar Bangla vision. The 142-acre transfer marks the first phase in moving this initiative from an election slogan into a functional state policy. The question is whether these early cabinet decisions will lead to a permanent transformation of the region, or if this is just the opening move in a much longer political transition. Let us know your thoughts in the comments.